ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart of the struggle, we dare to dream.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so we have a myriad of things to discuss, beloveds, and we're about to get into it. But before we do, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil as well. Okay, so let's talk about Tamar first. Okay, because it looks like Tamar just lied. Like this whole thing was nothing more than a PR stunt. Now, she's acting as though she actually was in the hospital and had something happen, but I don't believe it. I absolutely don't believe it. I think the whole thing was, in fact, a lie. Okay? Hey, we the people. Bigelow is in here. All right, let's get into it. Desmond, 504. Nola is in the house. Shirley is here. All right, Lawyer is in the house. Okay, Broken Silence. Good to see you. Cookie is here. All right, so let's get into it. Shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators because they stay putting in work. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna pull up a social media post from Tamar, and Funky Dineva. Now, if you missed the broadcast earlier, please go back and watch. And here's what it says. Tamar responds to Funky Dineva, claiming her near-death experience was a PR stunt. Says she didn't see the backlash she received due to recovering in the hospital. I just want peace. Tamar, please sit down somewhere, honey. At this point, nobody knows what to believe, but clearly it's not you. Okay, let's continue. She says, no matter what he says, I love at Miss Funky Dineva anyway. Had I known what was going on while I was in the hospital trying to recover, I would have said something. It's terrible that whatever I didn't say turned into all this. I just want peace. Now that's a load of BS in my opinion, because whether she was in the hospital recuperating or not, Tamar, the bottom line is we know that you stay on the internet. We know that you run first to the internet, okay? And so, with that all being said, even if she was in the hospital, we know that she saw the stuff that was being posted about Funky Dineva. I know she saw me going in on Funky Dineva. She saw a myriad of people going in on Funky Dineva, talking about what kind of no good friend he was, how he kept calling her that lady, and as if he didn't give a care. Now, she saw all of that and chose to sit back and not say anything. Tamar, please don't sit here and try to fool us as if you had no knowledge of what was being said about your so-called friend Funky Dineva because you were recovering. Yeah, it's giving lies. And you know how you know it's all lies and BS? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention, because now that we know that the whole part of the story that was clearly all cap and lies, the part about her possibly messing around with Mendice's, Yandy's husband, and Yandy being the one who beat her up and fractured her nose and knocked out her teeth, that's how you know it didn't really happen, because the story fits too perfectly together. Now, if somebody really did, or somehow her teeth really did fall out and she really did fracture her nose and really did wake up in a pool of blood found by her friend, then how is it that this whole story that got added into the mix about her and Mendice's, which is clearly all part of the little EP that she has coming out, how did that coincide so perfectly with the story of her having a fractured face? Tamar, please sit down somewhere. Ma'am, okay, we already know what happened at this point. Talking about she just wants peace. So she wants peace, but clearly doesn't want to give us any. Never ever going back to what I grew from. Nice try, devil. Ha! No, she didn't. Heartbreak retrograde. Now she's blaming it on the retrograde and the devil. Tamar, please stop. Now I know us Pisces can be slick, but this is just doing too much. I've done too much healing to fight with anyone. I just want to get better and continue doing what I love, which is telling lies. When I get through reading Tamar Braxton ass down to the ground, I don't want to hear ish. Now, this is what Funky Dineva said. Now, you all remember this from earlier. He said, here it is. I got ate up alive over my birthday weekend, and the whole while there was nothing wrong with Tamar's ass. Now she done released this tired ass music video for this raggedy EP that don't nobody want. And because I'm in the video, people are going to think I was a part of the PR stunt. I was collateral damage in a 2-bit PR stunt. At Tamar Braxton, you ain't even gonna try to clear any of this up and tell these people I didn't do anything to you or know what happened. I was accused of not being a friend to you, when at the end of the day, it was you not being a friend to me. I didn't deserve any of this. I'm deeply hurt. Funky Dineva, please sit down somewhere in a corner and have several seats yourself. Because yes, you didn't deserve this perhaps, but you darn sure are not a good friend. Because whether or not Tamar actually had an accident that left her in a pool of blood, what you did do was get on your channel, not show an ounce of empathy or sympathy or compassion, and kept calling her that lady. And then you chuckled at the end. So although she likely wasn't hurt at all, you didn't know that, according to you, because you said you had no knowledge of this whole little scam that she pulled off for a PR stunt. So with that all being said, what kind of friend gets up there, shows no empathy and sympathy, has no concern in his eyes at all, and then continuously refers to the person as that lady? And why is that so important? I'm glad you asked, because there was another incident with a friend who used to be cool with Funky Dineva. I think the person used to do security or something. In some capacity, they had dealings with Tamar. But that person fell out with Tamar, and Funky was going in on that person. I didn't feel like digging up the video, but there's a video of Funky Dineva going in on that person and just acting like they were just so foolish and this, that, and the third. And basically just talking about how they got to where they are. They got kicked all the way off the island. That's what he kept saying to them. You got kicked all the way off the island. Like Tamar is just through with them. And now look at him finding himself in the same boat. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Now, don't feel too sorry for Funky Dineva because he got accused of things, because the only reason he got accused of things is because he's such a nasty, mean-spirited person in the first place. You see, if he were not so low down and such a hater of women, specifically Black women, then no one would ever have dared to that he even possibly had a hand in doing anything nefarious to Tamar. But because of his past behavior and things that he has said prior, well, that's why many people thought, he's low down. It's no telling what we can put past him. That's why he got that. Okay, Mally C says someone called her Tamar Smollett. Yes, okay, we were saying that last night, beloved. Okay, thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Me and my friend were saying that last night. I said, no, she didn't go and pull a Justice Smollett, did she? Of course she did. Tamar, please sit down somewhere. But let's continue because this is all sad. Okay, this is the movie that she's in with Mendices, or the little clip. It's not actually a movie, it's a little short story for her album, for the EP or whatever. Her and Mendices, that's her love interest. Look at Funky Dineva. Now he claims he didn't know anything about the stunt. Now this is where the lie came from. And I'm going to show you all how this doesn't surprise me and why it doesn't surprise me in a minute. Okay, now this is when I want you all to pay attention, because now that we know this is all a hoax, I want you all to listen to what Tamar initially said. I struggled to write this, but everyone keeps calling me, and honestly, I can't even really talk anymore. I'm so weak. I almost died Sunday. I was found in a pool of blood from my friend with a face injury. As the days go by, the worse it is. I fractured my nose, lost some teeth and mobility. The way I look at life now is totally different. As my health is on the mend, my mental journey begins. Pray for me, for real. I don't even know what happened to me. Tamar was lying the whole time. Now, she can sit here and act like she was recovering, but girl, how could this end up to be a rumor that Yandy beat you into a bloody pulp after messing around with her husband? And then we find out you and her husband's in a little film together, a little short film. So, girl, this is all lies and BS.
Because see, now I'm finna tell it. Let me sit up. Now I'm finna tell it. Before I tell it, because I'm finna tell it. I'm finna tell it. But before I tell it, last night, after it dropped, I put in a group text with her and her manager my response on her page about the video. And I said, once I realized what this was, I said, oh, this is all jokes, ain't it? Let's break the internet. She gonna text back a heart emoji and gonna say, we could make up later, but I still love you. Okay, so now you responded. See, and let's not get it twisted. Because see, now I'm finna tell it. See, that's the part that made me realize, oh, you really didn't mind me being collateral damage in this. You gonna write, we could make up later, I still love you. So that's when I was like, oh, we having fun. Okay, tag me in, coach.
She said, we can have fun or we're going to make up later. We're going to make up later. So, yeah, that sounds like she made the whole thing up, okay? And didn't clue him in on the gag. All right, please pay attention.
Like, oh, so you're not going to say nothing and you use me to be in this tired-ass music video, hashtag Muppet. Because now that I'm in on the joke, bitch, we both finna make a coin. All of a sudden, now they want to call me on a three-way FaceTime. Talking about, Q, please don't do this. Y'all, please don't do this on the internet. They steady calling me. I'm not answering the phone. I'm not answering the phone. No, man. He's like, Q, please don't do this. No, let her ass feel what I felt over the weekend. Let her ass feel what I felt over the weekend. She's talking about, so this she gonna write, let me read this shit. Let me read it. See, that's the part that made me realize, oh, you really didn't mind me being collateral damage in this. You gonna write, we can make up later, I still love you. So that's when I was like, oh, we having fun. Okay, tag me in, coach. Like, oh, so you not gonna say nothing and you use me to be in this tired-ass music video, hashtag Muppet. Because then this lady got the nerve to write, please don't ruin my project. I've spent so much money for this project. This is my career. Girl, this is your career. This is my life.
Sierra said, Funky is so happy he has new drama. I mean, isn't he, though? He absolutely is ecstatic, honey.
Are you serious right now? These people accuse me of doing some of the most heinous things I've ever been accused of on the planet. And the only thing you got to say to me in this moment is, please don't ruin this for me. I spent my money on this project. This is my project in my career. When all I was asking was for you to go back to your stories and put, Funky Dineva didn't do anything to me, guys. I was resting. I should have said something earlier. That was all you had to do, and it could have been done with on my end. Even in this very moment, then this lady got all you had to do, and it could have been done. Before I even tell y'all the rest, I woke up this morning. Her publicist called me. Q, what can we do to put this thing to bed? Tell her to go on her stories and write, Funky Dineva did not do anything to me. I should have said something sooner. This was about 40 minutes before I even decided to do this live. I told him I'm sitting up right now to brush my teeth. All you had to do, and it could have been done. Before I even tell y'all the rest, I woke up this morning. Her publicist called me. Q, what can we do to put this thing to bed? Tell her to go on her stories and write,
Y'all, if that isn't a whole hot mess, okay? OG Patrice said he's full of it. Watch the smirk smile on his face. He never told what he said he was going to tell. Miss me with the BS, Funky. Yeah, he did. He kept saying, I'm going to tell it. Now I'm going to tell it. I knew he wasn't going to tell any darn thing. Okay, so with that I've been saying, it is clear to see that he is full of BS. But here's the thing. None of that surprised me, and here's why. Because you see, Yandy and Mendices, they have done this before. Let me just show you all this. You see, one time, about 2 or 3 years ago, Yandy was in a movie with a guy named Jeff Logan, plays in another show, a show called Double Cross. And Yandy came out, and here's what she admitted, that she was cheating on Mendices with this man.
Hey, everybody. Okay. So this is important because I feel like this is going to end up on the blogs anyway. So I just felt like maybe I should come on here myself. And I have been out and about, and I recently got...
You gonna tell them or what? I don't got all day.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm the other guy, but I'm not saying I'm not the other guy.
All right. Well, that's certainly not how I felt like I wanted to tell everybody. But anyway,
to add to the blogs.
I felt like this was going to end up on the blogs anyway, so I just felt like I should be the first to put it out there so I could tell my own story. Hey, everybody.
Okay, so like I said, that's something they have done before. And then after that came out and the whole rumor started that Yandy was cheating on Mendices, then this came out. This is the movie that she was in with the man in the video she was just talking about cheating with. I have the audio turned down for no, I don't want any copyright claims. So this is just something that her and Mendices have done before. Okay? So that doesn't surprise me at all. That's why when that story came out about her and Mendices, I wasn't falling for it. I'm like, yeah, right. I mean about Mendices and Tamar. I was like, yeah, right. Notice I didn't report on that. Okay, so with that all being said, let's talk about Diddy. No. Let's talk about T Hood first. Let's talk about T Hood because now they are saying that his death has been ruled a homicide. They said it's been ruled a homicide, beloveds. Okay, let's get into it. Here we go. Atlanta rapper T Hood's shooting ruled homicide after autopsy reveals multiple gunshot wounds. So the family of Atlanta rapper T Hood, who died in a shooting, has hired an attorney after the autopsy report revealed that he was shot multiple times. T Hood, whose legal name is Tevin Hood, was found dead at a home along Lee Road in Snellville on August the 9th. Now, on August 13th, Gwinnett police said the incident was being investigated as a possible self-defense case. They also mentioned 24-year-old Kai Frost was involved in the incident, but he has not been named as a suspect. Frost is the son of Love and Hip Hop stars Rashida and Kirk Frost. Now, the medical examiner released the autopsy report indicating how many times the 33-year-old was shot. According to the medical examiner, Hood was shot 6 times with injuries to the back, legs, upper back, abdomen, lower back, and the front leg. One front leg. Now, the medical examiner has ruled his death a homicide. Okay, they say 11 Alive has reached out to Gwinnett police regarding an update to the case. Now, the family's attorney released the following statement after learning about the nature of the shooting. And this is Michael S. Walensky, LLC. That's the law office they're using. And here's what he said. Tevin Hood was a devoted father and a supportive co-parent. He was deeply involved in his daughter's life and to her. He was the very best dad. And now his loss leaves an unimaginable void. We recognize that the criminal investigation is ongoing, and we will allow the Gwinnett County Police Department to continue doing their job. The family is truly grateful for the effort and commitment law enforcement has shown and will continue to show throughout this process. What we do know at this time is that Tevin Hood was shot from the back 4 times. That fact is both deeply troubling and heartbreaking to his loved ones. And there was only one person left to tell their side of the story. There are still more facts to uncover, but what remains certain is that justice must be served for Tevin's daughter, whether through criminal accountability, civil action, or both. Okay, so that sounds like they're going to be coming after Rashida and Kirk for some coins. That's what that sounds like. What do y'all have to say? I definitely was thinking it was going to be self-defense. But the medical examiner said a homicide. All right. A homicide, folks. So with that all being said, let's talk about Diddy. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Now I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over these documents. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, here we go. Diddy has successfully gotten another case filed by Buzbee's law office dismissed in its entirety. Buzbee just keeps on coming, filing all of these supposed frivolous lawsuits. Okay, so now let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Okay, Supreme Court of the State of New York. All right, Honorable Leslie A. Straw. That's who this was to. So plaintiff alleges that during the after party, he was given a drink believed to have been provided by Combs, after which he became disoriented and lost consciousness. While drifting in and out of awareness, plaintiff claims he witnessed S assault or SC sexual activity involving Combs and others, and later woke up to find Combs engaging in unwanted SC sexual contact with him. Plaintiff further alleges that Combs threatened his career prospects when he attempted to resist. Plaintiff contends that the incident caused emotional distress and led him to abandon his music career. Plaintiff asserts that one cause of action for sexual battery pursuant to California Civil Code Statute 1708.5 against Mr. Combs and the associated business entities defendants, alleging they enabled or failed to prevent the misconduct. Okay, I'm going to skip down. Now, while plaintiff contends that CPLR 213C applies and affords him a 20-year period to file this action, this argument fails. Okay, so there was supposed to be like a 20-year window for this to be filed. So Diddy's team was arguing about the statute of limitations. So anyway, they say even assuming California's current 10-year statute for sexual assault claims applies, the events in question allegedly occurred in 2015, and plaintiff did not file this action until 2025. Plaintiff has not alleged any facts establishing statutory tolling or revival under AB 27777. Without such showing, the court concludes that the claim is untimely under California law as well. Okay, so it's past the statute of limitations. Accordingly, because the action is untimely under both New York and California law, as required by CPLR 202, it must be dismissed as to all defendants. Failure to state a claim. Company defendants. Okay, so it was dismissed in its entirety due to it being outside the statute of limitations. Having dismissed the complaint, motion sequence 004 is denied as moot, as there is no matter remaining before this court. The court has considered the remaining arguments and finds such unavailing. Accordingly, it is hereby ordered that motions 002 and 003 to dismiss the complaint are granted, and the complaint is dismissed, and it is further ordered that motion 004 for renewal is denied as moot. The foregoing constitutes the decision and order of the court. Okay, so another win for Diddy. Buzbee at this point might as well just give up hope. Okay, Buzbee may as well just give up at this point, because I absolutely believe that all of his civil suits are frivolous. Okay, that's just what I think. I think every last one of them is frivolous. Because notice how all of these people in these lawsuits against Diddy, these civil suits, notice how all of them keep talking about they were at a party. Everybody was at a party and there was sexual activity. You see, that's all being said in these lawsuits, in my opinion, because people thought initially that's what the freak-offs were. Group sex at these parties that Diddy was having after hours, because that's what the rumors were. So by that being the rumors, all of these people, or many of these people who filed these civil lawsuits, are all saying, oh yeah, I was at a party and there was people having sex and somebody put something in my drink and then I woke up. They're all telling the same story. Funny thing is, there were no parties with group sex except for Diddy, Cassie, Jane Doe, and the S workers when they would have the Wild King Nights and the freak-offs. Y'all see how these people be out here lying, grifting for bags? Y'all hear this? This is all a hot mess. Hold on. David E. Taylor. Hold on. Somebody talking about another pastor busted by the feds. Let me see what's going on here. Ooh, honey, this is all nefarious. Thank you for this tidbit of information. Let's get into it. Honey, y'all better stop listening to these pork chop pastors because they mean y'all no good, okay? None whatsoever. 2 Michigan ministry leaders accused of running forced labor organization and a money laundering scheme. This is what the church is out here doing, y'all. This is what the church is out here doing. Can y'all believe it? Thank you, Myron. I'm about to get into it. I'm about to play this video in just a second. Why I stopped going to church. Exactly why. Hold on, I'm waiting for the ad to stop. Ugh. Mm. This is all a shame, honey. This is why I praise the Most High from at home, because y'all pastors, y'all not gonna fool me. Okay, they're out here grifting just as bad as Dr. Umar. It's all a scandal.
Federal grand jury has indicted 2 ministry leaders for allegedly running a forced labor and money laundering scheme with ties here in Michigan. Welcome to CBS News Detroit at 5. I'm Terrence Friday.
I'm Shayna Humphreys. The FBI had a team in Taylor today as part of a nationwide takedown of the Kingdom of God Global Church in Texas, Missouri, Florida, and Michigan. CBS News Detroit's Veronica Ortega joins us live in Taylor with more on the investigation.
Shayna, Terrence, more than 10 years ago, David E. Taylor opened up his first church and call center here in Taylor, Michigan. The founder, along with his executive director, Michelle Brannon, were arrested today in North Carolina and Florida, while their headquarters behind me was getting raided by the FBI. The organization, formerly known as Joshua Media Ministries International, has been described by some former members as a lifesaver.
This ministry changed my life, and I've witnessed so many people come off the streets. I've witnessed so many people just get delivered from drugs. I've seen so many people stop hating people.
These workers at the office building next door call it something else.
They say he runs a little cult over there. Those windows are always covered.
We don't see much action over there at all whatsoever.
The 23-page indictment issued by a federal grand jury in the Eastern District of Michigan outlines the allegations against David E. Taylor and Michelle Brannon, including recruiting people to work at the call center unpaid.
My understanding was people voluntarily come here, and they don't have to be here.
Since 2014, the organization received $50 million in donations, all of it apparently used to fund the luxury lifestyle of the church leaders. These documents state that if workers didn't make their daily quota, they were allegedly punished both physically and mentally, including humiliation, sleep deprivation, and forced repentance.
I used to be a part of this ministry. I walked away because I wanted to. I wasn't forced. Nobody forced me to be here.
Another accusation is that the founder enlisted armor bearers to act as his personal servants. They would allegedly transport women from ministry houses to Taylor's location and ensure those women took Plan B emergency contraceptive.
Yeah, he's just a womanizer.
Despite the allegations and possible prison time, at least one former church member is standing by the leaders and his beliefs.
That's if Father God allows that. Ain't nobody gonna make him do nothing that Father God don't allow.
Now the FBI is still here on scene. They can be seen coming in and out of this building behind me, loading evidence into the truck. They've been here all day long. Meanwhile, Taylor and Brannon have been charged with conspiracy to commit forced labor, and money laundering conspiracy. Each charge, if convicted, carries a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. In Taylor, Veronica Ortega, CBS News, Detroit.
Very concerning. I got a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot more about this.
Yeah.
Veronica, thank you.
That's a darn shame. Do y'all hear this? No good, honey. And here's the guy that they're talking about, the pastor. At least that's how he used to look. Nowadays, he looks more like this. It's kind of rough when they get you hemmed up. Go from that to that real quick. All right. This is all so crazy. Hold on. Here's one more report. Let's see what they're talking about on this one. Deronda, you need to sit down somewhere. Hold on. Let me pull this up.
They're going to be where they are for a long time. I'm going to get out of the shot and show you that they're still gathering whatever they're finding inside of this building a long time ago. But if anything, you know about FBI raids a long time ago. But if
property owned by a raid at a property owned by JMMI Global.
That is a ministry organization. Sherman DeSalle has been on the scene. He's been there live for us all morning long. I still see behind you, Sherman, a couple of federal agents still investigating at this hour.
Yeah, we've seen people leave this property a long time ago, but if anything, you know about FBI raids, they're going to be where they are for a long time. I'm going to get out of the shot and show you that they're still gathering whatever they're finding inside of this building on the 14,000 block of North Freeway near Rankin. This is JMMI International. A little bit more about this operation here. It's operated by David E. Taylor. He calls himself an apostle online. He has several locations in Michigan, Florida, here in Houston. And we also have been told, and we also confirmed with our partners in Tampa Bay, that another location was raided this morning. In a few seconds, you'll see some video overhead, or some ground video of federal agents and local police at a location, actually a mansion that's tied to JMMI, but it's also under a different name, Kingdom of God Global Church. But it all, according to the website, has ownerships by the same person, which is David E. Taylor. And that's in a prominent neighborhood. That's over in the Avila neighborhood, if you're familiar with the Tampa area. Pretty large, affluent community out there. But there's still a lot of information that we're waiting on. We're waiting to see who it was that they were picking up. We're also waiting to hear what kind of condition they were in. Because in the middle of seeing people getting taken out of this property, some in handcuffs, some not, we actually saw one woman walking really slowly, looks to not be in great shape, walking out of this location. She was not handcuffed. She was guided by the hand by plainclothes officers. So we're still trying to get a grasp of what type of investigation, what type of information we're going to get. As soon as we get something from the Houston FBI field office, we'll of course let you know. Back to you.
Sherman DeSalle live for us in Northeast Houston, where the federal.
That's a darn shame. A darn shame. This is what they're doing in church these days. Now let's talk about it, because they were doing a whole lot of stuff. Trafficking, forced labor, and money laundering. Church leader arrested in Durham in connection with all of the above. 2 religious leaders who are accused in a multi-state money laundering and forced labor operation were arrested Wednesday, according to federal authorities. David Taylor, age 53, head of the Kingdom of God Global Church, was arrested in Durham, North Carolina, in what the U.S. Justice Department called a nationwide takedown. Another church leader, Michelle Brannon, age 56, who was described as Taylor's executive assistant, was arrested in Tampa, Florida. Now, the Kingdom of God Global Church ran call centers in Michigan, Florida, Texas, and Missouri, where followers were forced to work without pay, according to federal authorities. The call centers, which offered prayer and dream interpretation, raised millions of dollars yearly for the church, which was formerly known as Joshua Media Ministries International. Now, followers slept in the call centers or in a ministry house and couldn't leave without permission from Taylor and Brannon, according to authorities. Taylor, who called himself the apostle, demanded that followers who were selected to be armor bearers serve him around the clock. Followers who disobeyed an order or failed to reach call center goals were subject to public humiliation, food and shelter restrictions, psychological abuse, sleep deprivation, assaults, and threats of divine judgment. Now, money raised from the call centers, $50 million since 2014. That went towards properties and luxury vehicles for Taylor and Brannon. Now, money laundering is tax evasion in progress. And in this case, the proceeds funded an alleged human trafficking ring and supported a luxury lifestyle under the guise of a religious ministry. IRS Special Agent in Charge Karen Wigard, who is based in Detroit, gave the details on Wednesday. Tyler and Brandon face charges of conspiracy to commit forced labor, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Ooh, honey, this is a whole lot. This is what they're doing in the churches, you all. How many times do we have to hear these stories before you all realize that the devil is sitting right up in the front pew? Please pay attention. Okay, y'all see this? This is the paperwork right here. United States of America versus Michelle Brandon. 23 pages. As part of the Wednesday takedown, federal agents raided a church property in Texas where 17 people were removed from a former hotel in Houston that was set to be used for a Bible school. Agents also raided a mansion owned by the church in Tampa's Avila neighborhood. These are all churches being raided and busted for sex trafficking and forced labor. Church beliefs emphasize divine healing, prosperity, and spiritual warfare, and are based on neo-Pentecostal and charismatic traditions. Y'all, this is not even funny. These different churches getting caught up with this stuff. Do y'all hear this? This is really some sick stuff, okay? This is what's going on in the church. Okay. I don't know what the world is coming to, honey, but none of it's good. I promise you that. Leon said the devil can sing, preach, and pray. Okay. Dorina said, I bet they was famous for saying, turn to your neighbor. Talk about blasphemous. Okay, this is all egregious at the end of the day. Now let's talk about the devil. We just got through talking about church. Now let's talk about the devil. The devil doesn't wear Prada. The devil wears a red tie. Their name is Trump. All right. Trump asked the Supreme Court to uphold freeze on billions in USAID payments. At issue is nearly $12 billion in funding, okay, Congress approved for USAID, which was targeted by President Donald Trump on his first day in office. So lawyers for the Trump administration filed an emergency appeal to the Supreme Court on Tuesday night, asking the justices to halt a lower court injunction and allow it to freeze billions in foreign aid spending previously allocated by Congress. Now, kicking the issue of USAID funding back to the High Court for the second time in roughly 6 months. So at issue is nearly $12 billion in funding allocated to the U.S. Agency for International Development and owed by the end of the fiscal year in September. The majority of those funds were axed by President Donald Trump almost immediately after taking office under the broader mantle of slashing foreign aid and eliminating so-called waste, fraud, and abuse. U.S. Solicitor General D. John Sawyer told the Supreme Court in an emergency filing Tuesday that absent intervention from the High Court, the Trump administration would be forced to rapidly obligate some $12 billion in foreign aid funds owed by September 30th or the end of the fiscal year. Those payments have been held up in court for months after President Donald Trump signed an executive order on his first day back in office in January, seeking to block nearly all foreign aid spending as part of his administration's broader crackdown on waste, fraud, and abuse. Now, that order was blocked by a federal judge in D.C. earlier this year. That judge, U.S. District Judge Amir Ali, ordered the Trump administration to resume payments on billions of dollars in funding for USAID projects that were previously approved by Congress. That order was overturned this month by the U.S. District Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit, which ruled 2-1 to vacate the lower court injunction. The appeals court partly vacated Judge Ali's injunction, rejecting a request from foreign aid groups that had sought to restore the grant payments. Now, the 2-1 majority also ruled that the plaintiffs failed to show Trump had acted plainly in excess of his executive branch authorities. Writing for the majority, Judge Karen L. Henderson, a President George H.W. Bush appointee, said the plaintiffs lacked the proper cause of action to sue the Trump administration over its decision to withhold the funds, or what is known as impoundment. But the appeals court has not yet issued a mandate to enforce that ruling, meaning that for now, the judge's order and the payment schedule that he previously laid out remains in place. Now, Sawyer argued in the emergency Supreme Court appeal that the foreign aid groups which sued the Trump administration this year in order to claw back some of the grant money have no legal authority to challenge the executive branch on the matter, which is technically under the legal jurisdiction of the Impoundment Control Act. They say Congress did not upset the delicate inter-branch balance by allowing for unlimited, unconstrained private suits. Okay, any lingering dispute about the proper disposition of funds that the president seeks to rescind shortly before they expire should be left to the political branches, not effectively prejudged by the district court. Plaintiffs, for their part, have argued that the executive branch lacks the authority to unilaterally withhold already appropriated funds under the Impoundment Control Act, or the ICA, as well as the Administrative Procedure Act. Okay, well, there you have it. Trump wants them to freeze the funds, to uphold the freeze on the funds, no less. And then also, Trump hosts a meeting on Gaza as U.S. hits India with new tariffs. What is this devil up to? Let me see if I can get this to play. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. We're almost done. Ha! OG Patrice said Trump, aka Beelzebub. I know, right?
Can
I?
My take. America is often criticized for being short-term in its orientation, quick to change course. In fact, Washington often shows a steely consistency in its foreign policy. Consider the strategic outreach to India that began during the Clinton administration and was expanded on in a bipartisan manner over 25 years until now. Donald Trump's sudden, inexplicable hostility toward India reverses policies pursued under 5 administrations, including his own previous one. If it holds, this reversal may be the biggest strategic mistake of the Trump presidency so far.
Trump is a whole idiot. Now he's pissed off India. I want you all to pay attention. He's just making America lose allies, honey. All right, with his ignorance. All right, ignorance. Now, what was he thinking? This is going to cost him.
After the Cold War, the U.S. began a sustained outreach toward India. President Clinton's visit in 2000 was hugely successful and opened up the possibility of a new warm relationship between the two countries. The pivotal shift took place under George W. Bush. His administration realized that a rising China was transforming the international system, and the single most important counterweight to China could be India, then the world's second most populous country, which was also beginning to reform economically and integrate with the world. A close relationship between Washington and New Delhi would be the key to preventing Chinese domination of Asia and securing America's interests in the region. The giant obstacle in the way of better US-India ties was India's nuclear weapons program. Washington had penalized India for this to preserve the global non-proliferation regime. The Bush administration decided that India should be treated like a great power, like France or Britain or China. It offered a historic deal that ended the isolation India had faced because of its nukes. That deal, expertly navigated on the Indian side by Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, marked a watershed in the relations between the two countries. After that, things got closer. The Obama administration saw India as key to its pivot to Asia and supported New Delhi's bid to become a permanent member of the UN Security Council. He greatly increased trade between the two economies. The first Trump administration took an important leap forward politically. It elevated the Quad, a defense-oriented group of the US, Australia, Japan, and India, and gave it more substance. Trump also embraced and promoted his personal relationship with Prime Minister Modi. President Biden built on the Trump legacy, forging greater cooperation in defense and economics. India began planning to cooperate with the US in the manufacture of everything from fighter jets to computer chips. In the second quarter of this year, India exported more smartphones to the US market than China. India is a prickly country. It was colonized and dominated by the West, ruled by Britain for 2 centuries. After its independence, it was supported unequivocally by the Soviet Union, while America gave money and arms to its adversarial neighbor, Pakistan. Being a large, diverse, messy democracy, it has domestic interests that it cannot ignore. Despite all this, Washington, through painstaking, patient diplomacy, was able to nudge New Delhi closer and closer so that the two countries' interests and actions were aligned. Enter Trump 2.0. With little warning, Donald Trump has undone decades of painstaking effort by American diplomats. He has placed India in the highest category of tariff countries, along with Syria and Myanmar, while placing Pakistan at just 19% and offering joint efforts to look for oil in that country. There is little accessible oil there. He met with Pakistan's army chief in private. A Trump family-backed firm has had ties to Pakistan's National Crypto Council, all fueling suspicions of backroom deals. Trump has suddenly turned on India, insulting its economy, calling it dead. In fact, India has had the fastest growing large economy in the world for several years now and is the world's 4th largest economy and will likely overtake Germany by 2028 to become number 3 after the US and China. It is the world's 2nd largest importer of arms and has the 2nd largest number of smartphone users. India has a long history of seeking to be non-aligned. Under Modi, it embraced a variation called multi-alignment, allowing it to freelance and maintain good ties with all sides. Persistent American diplomacy and the rise of China had been chipping away at that stance, and India had slowly but surely been embracing closer ties with America. No more. Even if Trump reverses course once again, the damage is done. Indians believe that America has shown its true colors, its unreliability, its willingness to be brutal to those it calls its friends. They will understandably feel that they need to hedge their bets, stay close to Russia, and even make amends with China. The country is united in its shock and anger at Trump's insulting behavior. When I'm in India, I often urge the country to forge closer ties with America, telling Indians that they should shed their ambivalence, that their destiny lies in a great partnership between the world's oldest and its largest democracy. Today, I would be hard-pressed to urge Indians to follow that advice.
Damn shame. All thanks to Trump and his ignorance. Trump is a whole fool. Okay, and nobody's stopping him. Okay, so he's just doing all these things to tick off India. And what do you think other countries are looking at? Other allies could likely be looking at the United States saying that, okay, they're not to be trusted. They're not loyal. If they'll do it to India, they'll do it to us. Who knows what people are thinking? So let's talk about some of the things this idiot has done. First of all, major things. He imposed the major tariffs that he imposed on Indian goods. This was in July. Now, back in July, Trump began penalizing India for its continued import of Russian oil by announcing a 25% reciprocal tariff. Okay, if you all remember, I reported on this because it was supposed to start August the 1st. Then soon after that, he broadened that by doubling the tariff to a total of 50% effective August 27th of 2025. Now, citing India's energy purchases and strategic autonomy as triggers. Now, these tariffs apply to about 2/3 of India's U.S. exports, impacting key sectors such as textiles, jewelry, apparel, shrimp, carpets, furniture, and agriculture. Now, analysts warn that such steep duties could push India's GDP growth below 6% and cause tens of billions in export revenue, while prompting Indian leaders to criticize the moves as unfair, unjustified, and quite frankly, unreasonable. Okay, this escalation marked a major rupture in the long-standing trade and strategic alignment between the United States and India. And then also back in February 2025, the U.S. deported 104 Indian nationals on a military flight where many deportees were handcuffed and chained. Do you all remember that? Now, this hastily arranged deportation sparked strong backlash in India, with opposition officials labeling the treatment as inhumane. Okay, now between January and July of 2025, around 1,700 Indians were deported, averaging 8 deportations per day, more than double the previous rate under the Biden administration. And in May of 2025, the Trump administration also imposed visa restrictions on Indian travel agents suspected of facilitating illegal migration, a move seen as politically charged and likely to strain linguistic, academic, and business ties. And then also in early 2025, Trump offered to mediate escalating tensions between India and China, as well as between India and Pakistan, following the Pahalgam attack and ceasefire. Now, India firmly rebuffed these offers, reiterating that regional disputes are bilateral matters, not subject to third-party mediation. So Trump needs to mind his own business. But see, Trump was trying to do all this, trying to act like he's trying to start peace, do all of this peace negotiations and all that, because he wants the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. He's begging for it, remember? Okay, these unsolicited claims of mediation were viewed as a breach of diplomatic protocol and led to further mistrust between the two countries. They knew Trump had an ulterior motive, and that it wasn't about him being passionate or concerned about them and theirs, or them having peace. They knew that he wanted something and that he was up to no good. So they just clearly didn't want to have anything to do with it. Okay, and so with that all being said, to sum it all up, Trump sharply deteriorated U.S. and India relations, all because of his severe economic penalties like the 50% tariffs targeting India's export sectors, the escalated deportations and visa restrictions straining people-to-people ties, the controversial mediation offers that were publicly rejected by India, highlighting misalignments in diplomacy. Okay, that's what the fool has done. We don't even have to go back and talk about things that he did even further back, like in 2019, when he revoked India's GSP status. You see, Trump ended India's participation in a generalized system of preferences, which had allowed duty-free exports of many Indian goods to the United States. This, in resulting after all of this ended up hurting the Indian exporters and created diplomatic friction. Okay? Trump frequently criticized India for what he called very high tariffs, especially on U.S. goods like Harley-Davidson motorcycles. He then labeled India the tariff king, claiming the trade relationship was unfair, which is why he hit him with 50%, no less. And also, let's not forget how in 2017, Trump withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord and cited India and China unfairly, saying India was allowed to double coal production, while the U.S. had to limit its emissions. Okay, this was seen by many in India as misleading and unfair, especially given India's lower per capita emissions. Okay, so these are just a few of the things that Trump has done to piss these people off. Okay, these are just a few of the things. I could really go into further detail, but I don't have the time nor the patience. All right, I just want y'all to know that it's a whole fool that we're dealing with in the White House. a whole fool indeed, okay? And it's just not going to get any better anytime soon. With that all being said, We the People said, Queen, you think this is part of the plan for the NWO? Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, beloved. Absolutely. Okay, so with that all being said, listen, I'm out of here. Okay, I'm out of here. I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. Like and share. Don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you have not been receiving your notifications. Okay, I hope you enjoy the rest of this day. I'll see you all in the morning with your morning wake-up call. All right, so until next time, beloveds, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got